Welcome back, everybody. It's been a few minutes, and off camera, I did a couple of things. I did go ahead and give it a second coat, and if I hold it up to the light above me, you'll see that I've got some area that's very problematic, and that's these areas here on the wings. I went in with a paintbrush after the fact, and you can see the paintbrush is going to be a disaster to go in there and do this. And that's because this RC paint, even when it's dry, the solvents in the wet paint will dissolve the paint beneath it, and it'll go back down to the clear plastic. So this area is really going to be a pain in the neck. The rest of the car is fine. I do have, some runs here, and I'm going to have some more because I'm going to have to hit this with some more paint, unfortunately, to try and even those areas out. We'll see what we can do, but, it's not good. You can see just at that angle, you can see the drips that went down in there and how opaque they are. And I've got to try and get enough paint in there to hide that. And that's going to mean those kinds of runs are probably going to come out on the side, which suck. But we'll see. I knew this area was going to be troublesome, and it is. So I'm going to put you back on the tripod, and we'll see what we can come up with. We shall see. Give it a little shake. And the other problem is, this can is running low. I've got older cans, but this is the only new can I had, so God only knows if the old cans will even match this shade of white. So I'm going to shake the crap out of this. And we'll see what we can accomplish. It's still spraying, so that's good. So let's see. It's getting sputtery. I'm going to have to hold this up and try and keep this as level as possible. Blech. Boy, I just get a breath of that. More better. More better. You can still see it's not great. And I'm out of paint, which is not helping. Man. I knew from day one this was going to be a tough one, this section. And it is. It's a little better. You really got to put a lot of paint in there, though. And that's not good for the rest of the body. Here we go. Oh, yeah, that'll work. Paint the house. Doggies. That's something. The other problem this is going to create, I can tell you in advance, is when I peel the mask off back there, it's going to be a disaster. That'll be another disaster besides the paint runs and all the other issues I'm dealing with. To get that done is not cool. You know, in hindsight, what I should have done, and I highly recommend you do this if you build this model, it just came to mind. Mask all of this off, all of it, and just focus on spray painting those interior two sections and peel them off. That's would have been the way to do this. But we learned together. So unfortunately, I don't like this, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do about it. I guess the determining factor will be what happens when I go to peel this paint, this line off, and see how badly it bled into the mask. I can see a little. I know the decals on the external side will cover a lot of these sins, but that's not how I like to paint. I don't like to use excuses when I paint. I like everything to be perfect, but I didn't think this one through, gang. I really should have done what I told you just now. If I had masked this whole car off and just focused on painting those areas, probably would have needed a whole can of this just to paint those areas and get that done. I think it would have come out perfectly. So please try that if you build this model. If you're going to fill that area with blue, or with, if you decide to go the blue route. Now, if you look at the model box, they've got blue on the interior surface and white on the exterior surface. So the good news on that is there's a sticker for that blue. The bad news is it won't match the blue. I'm sure it won't match the blue that I have for model paint. So I got to figure that out too. I might have to do an exterior mask and paint that so that when I paint the wing, the blues will match. But I really think I'm going to have to figure out if I can find another blue. But I don't think Tamiya makes that blue any darker than that shade that I showed you earlier. You can see, once again, it's off by a country mile. And it's now got my fingerprint on it, so, or a couple of them. So anyway, that be where we're at. It's a mess down there. And that big run right there. Guess I could zoom in. Not good. Not good. I would have been happier with this, but this is the reality of doing a model. I do have another body if I wanted to go crazy and do this again. I could do another body, but I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm trying to even out these runs. You can see that's still quite drippy. Quite drippy. Running everywhere. Look at that drip. Ugh. I'm so mad at myself for doing this. I can't even tell you. But I'm trying to get that to lay as flat as I can. Get the runs to at least be somewhat even. Because the runs, they probably won't, none of this will probably show on the exterior unless you underlit the thing and saw that kind of a flaw. You're not going to see it on the other side of the body, hopefully. I say that with great confidence. But, look at that. That doesn't make me happy to see that. And I don't know. I'll be open to suggestions. If any of you painted this, built this model, and you got any suggestions on how you dealt with this particularly tricky part. That's the trickiest thing I've ever tried to paint on a RC car. And as you can see, I kind of failed miserably at it, I would say. I certainly wouldn't give myself an A+ for this. So let's see what happens. I'll come back to it when it dries, and we'll begin the gnarly process of peeling it and see what that, what the reveal of the underside of the green tape holds for my next step. Ugh. Hope you enjoyed watching me go through this. Maybe it'll save you some troubles when you go to build something that's got some sort of convoluted contour. And you'll see what not to do based on what I just did. Maybe you'll have better tools. Maybe if you had a very precise airbrush that you could really get a very fine mist on and spray into an area like that. I mean, they certainly make artist level airbrushes that do stuff like that. This is where having more professional hobby tools would probably give you a better result than using off-the-shelf cans of paint and stuff like that. But, this is, in this case, this is a model that will be erased, but I always try and build my cars, my RC cars, like their models to be displayed. So I try and do a better job than probably you should if you're going to crash into something. And I can tell you, with the thickness of that back paint, that paint will come off if I hit anything, or if something hit it, if I got rear-ended or something in an event. But that's another issue. So thanks for watching. Feel free to suggest anything that might be helpful to me. I'm certainly open to suggestions, and hopefully we'll get a better second step. See you soon.